Baxter Zabalaza Theatre Festival. It's celebrating a remarkable milestone. It's in its 15th edition. It's an annual gathering and continues to ignite passion, creativity, and social change through the power of theatre. And this year's theme, Make Your Mark, it serves as a rallying call for artists and audiences, theatre makers and communities alike to really leave a lasting impression on the cultural landscape. So over the past decade and a half, the festival is really steadfastly committed to nurturing artistic talent. So Zabalaza Artistic Director, Curator of the Zabalaza Festival, Mdu Kweyama, is going to be joining us now virtually, perhaps to weigh in further. Mdu, good morning. Welcome. Thanks for your time at this hour.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Mdu, let's get into this, because obviously the theme this year, Make Your Mark, reflecting on 15 years of since its establishment. Talk to us about this milestone. Talk to us about the journey that Zabalaza Theatre Festival has undergone.
Thank you very much. It's a good, it's been a process, a great process of skill development, a great process of seeing young theatre makers making their mark in the industry, especially in the Western Cape. Initially, the festival is a development program, and for the past 15 years, that's what we've been doing. In the 14 years, we've created so many talented theatre makers that have made it, but they don't have space now to actually be in the industry because it's difficult, as you know, in the industry. So we decided this year that we will actually move away from the application process, but select theatre makers that have been part of Zabalaza, that have made it, so that we give them platform to the industry. That's what we did this year. We asked them to make their mark, to write their new stories, to tell South Africa's new stories as diverse as possible in their own languages. That's what we did this year.
Yes, it is about representation, inclusion. It's about empowerment through developmental skills. Thank you for speaking to that, and even just the community impact that it's had over the past 15 years. When we even look at the audience engagement and how the audience receives it, how the audience also helps, with the emerging artists that are part of this endeavor, what is that relationship and synergy also looking like?
It's so. The main festival eventually happens at the Baxter. However, before we have the main festival at the Baxter, we actually have mini festivals in the communities where we show talent in the communities where people are coming from, to say, hey, look at what you are creating, look at your stories being told, look at how you are being represented by young artists. And by doing that, we encourage them to come to the Baxter and support. And by doing that, we're creating the culture of our people to go to the theatre and pay to watch theatre and support the young people to create. So, and we also encourage school children to come and come to the festival, to watch theatre, to be part of the creatives, so that as we try to catch them at a young age, that theatre is a thing to support. We're making sure that we create the culture of watching theatre. So, and it's been amazing. Like the festival this year, we had over 5,000 audience members who came to watch.
And I mean, even if we're just getting further into that culture, the culture of theatre culture, the importance of the arts. I mean, it's Heritage Month, and so obviously this is a lens through which we understand ourselves, our heritage, our communities as well. Can you talk to some of the challenges that you've incurred on that front, perhaps over the past 15 years, but in the same breath also how it's evolved to research, but particularly post-COVID era as well?
In terms of challenges, when I think 8 years ago, we started to make sure that we put emphasis firstly on female directors, because that's been a bit of a challenge to get young female directors to emerge, to direct and to stay, because sometimes we have them, but they don't stay. So we've been working hard on making sure that happens. That was one challenge. Sometimes it's just being around the community. Sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work, but we push. We make plans to make sure that happens. We make sure that the festival continues. And that being a Heritage Month, we cannot ask for better stories to tell, for this festival. One Purpose, for instance, one of the shows that's going to be performing, that's going to open on the 17th, is about that, is about the calling, is about love, is about our heritage as Black people. And with Pandoka Selifte, where it's a proper African show, and again, it's all about heritage. Of course, the story there is slightly different. It's about love as well, but in trauma and all of that, to making sure both languages are represented as part of our heritage.
Yeah, and also, I mean, if we're look at the digital age that we find ourselves in, you can see the power of connection and the power of live performances really, really, really coming center stage as well. And I wonder if you can speak to that appreciation as well. But even if we're looking at, those conversations that are so needed in society at this point, can you talk to us about some of those themes and what's inspiring you for this edition as well?
Digital... Young people in digital is, I'm not saying it's a problem, but I think it helps at some point. It helps with research, it helps with being creative, finding ideas. So for stage, our job as theatre makers is to make sure that those ideas do not stay on the digital platform, but to do your research, use your AIs and use all of that to be inspired to tell these stories. So we do encourage it. However, we want to make sure that translates to the theatre. So we try to make sure there is a balance between digital, whatever that you're doing, to create the shows for the stage. So it's all about getting a balance with the digital and stage. And when we talk about COVID, we had a situation where we actually used digital so that the festival continues. So, of course, COVID helped us to find different ways of telling the festival without closing down. So we never closed because of digital. It's all about how you use digital positively to go forward.
Well, absolutely. And keeping, that story alive, it's in the 15th edition. Please remind us of, when it's happening, how people also access it. How do we keep this conversation going as you build up? Just to be clear, the main festival happened in March, and then from that we had 2 winners. So we had 15 shows in celebration of the 15th anniversary, and then 2 shows won, which is Pandoka Selifte by Lauren Snyders and Purpose by Luanda Sindapi. Pandoka Selifte is opening this Wednesday on the 10th, and Purpose is opening next week, the following week on the 10th. And the tickets are on web tickets at the Baxter Theatre. All righty. Thank you so much, Mdu. If we're also looking at imagining from here into 15 years and beyond, what does that future look like for you in particular in relation to the festival?
Oh, God, we want to go big as a festival. We like to expand. We like to make sure that the theatre makers actually, I'm not sure if it's the right term, but have an industry. We need an industry that they can belong to, which means they have jobs. So the festival, as a festival, we're just working hard to make sure that there's sustainability with all these theatre makers that we keep creating, that they always have jobs, and the festival grows, and we have other productions from other festivals, which would be great to go international even. So, yeah.
Well, the proof is in the pudding, Mdu, because you've survived 15 years. And so we're looking forward to what the next 15 and beyond looks like. Thank you for your service and your work as well, and for flying the flag high through these engagements and through empowering our people. We'll leave our conversation there. Wishing you all the best of luck. Zabalaza Festival Artistic Director and Curator Mdu Kweyama talking to us about the upcoming celebration, of course, of the Baxter Zabalaza Theatre. As you mentioned, there is 2 productions that will be taking place on the 10th of September.